Good afternoon. Yeah, it's afternoon. Elevate. This is Chris coming to you every week from somewhere in the church. Today we are in the um, soon to be known or soon to be named zone of Elevate. So glad to touch base with you guys. Um, this week is beginning a new set of lessons and a new set of topics that we're going to be discussing this week or this month for the month of April. It's going to be bright side, find the light in the dark. Okay. Um, Obviously, everything leading up to Easter. This month, we're going to be talking about hope. We're going to be talking about how to find the positive, or more so, how to find ways that God gets the glory out of what we perceive or what is considered to be negative or bad situations. Okay. This first week, the Bible story is going to be following Lazarus. And so we're going to be talking to the kids about the situation with Lazarus, kind of getting an understanding of how everyone felt in that situation, and how, in the end, obviously, God got the glory. But just one of the things that I forgot and remembered in studying this lesson is where we find the famous, dinner grace prayer that a lot of kids pray, the two-word prayer, Jesus wept, that's found in this story of Lazarus. So I think it's pretty cool for us to kind of hit on that this week and get a better understanding of why Jesus actually wept, and the fact that, even though Jesus wept, he still knew that he was going to be able to bring his friend back. So we can get a better understanding of how sometimes it's okay to weep and still have hope, and still know that God is in control. So the first activity for this week is going to be a pre-activity before they go over for the talk, and it's going to be called Get Your Head in the Game. Really simple. You're going to take note cards, and the kids are going to be writing on the note cards things that they think are powerful or have a lot of power. So you can say a engine, or you can say one of the examples that they got down here is hot sauce, or even onions, or you can say a powerful vacuum or a powerful bomb, or hopefully at some point they're going to say Jesus or God. And if they don't, you might have to throw that in there for them. But they're going to be writing each of these things one per card. Then cards are going to get spread out on the floor, and one child will pick one card, another child will pick another card, and the two of them will kind of face off and explain why they believe their card is the more powerful of the two. Kind of just like a good opportunity for them to get into like a little social debate about something, and then ultimately just to point out the fact that, obviously there are a lot of powerful things in this world, but none more powerful than God. Okay. That's just a simple pre-activity, and then once we have the talk, following that, we're going to do another activity, which involves lipsticks, which are actually like popsicle sticks with lips on them. I don't have a prototype of one yet, but you get the picture. What's going to happen is you're going to read some excerpts from the Bible lesson in John 11, 1 through 45. It's not going to be 1 through 45. We've chopped it down to less verses, and it's cool to have them actually read them as a group, so you can assign maybe 4 verses per student in your group. It comes out to about 29 verses, but it's kind of chopped up to just kind of get the key points of this story, but really to look at places where people's reactions are what we can kind of get a better understanding of, to see how people deal with the impending negative of this person dying versus the kind of holding on to this light of hope that something can happen. And so what they'll do is take the lipsticks, and they're invited to put the lipsticks over their mouth and just basically say what they believe this person is feeling in that moment. And there are questions that you'll ask that go along with it. Basically, why do you think the people in this verse believed in Jesus? If you had been there when this miracle took place, what would you be thinking or feeling? And why do you think Jesus waited until Lazarus was dead for several days before he came? And any other questions that you may want to ask. Obviously, this is just a guide. And then there's also discussion questions if you don't want to go that route and you just want to do some discussion. There are also discussion questions following just reading John 11, verse 4 aloud. And what are some ways that sickness, suffering, or other tough situations bring glory to God? And that's probably a good way to handle it as well, because this is the time I think that some of them are starting to really process um, bad situations, and so it might be a good time to hear some of their thinking, some of their emotions regarding it, and steer them towards a place of hope, but also giving them an understanding that it's all right to have an emotional response. It's all right to be sad, and that's totally fine. So we're excited about Easter coming up. Continuing to pray for Jill as she depressingly enjoys the sun. We're so sad for her enjoying the sun. But no, we're glad that she's having a blast, and just continue to pray for everyone in this ministry and connected to it, and their families as well. And I'll see you all on Sunday. Oh, Saturday first, then Sunday. Yeah. Okay. Take care. Deuces.